Good afternoon, chess fans. My name is Pavel Voloshin, and today we'll make one more broadcast about the match between Moscow Chess Club and Team Turkey. So, personally, I expect a very close match because both teams have a lot of young and talented players. 40 seconds before the start of the tournament. Let's just wait until begin. So, very young, very talented players. The oldest player is 14 years old, as far as I'm concerned. So, very close match. See right now. So, winter is coming, and it is of course the best weather to play chess. So it is very cold outside. It is inside every house, and let's watch. I believe very hot tournament, very hot match between Moscow chess team and Team Turkey. So the match just began, and let's watch, I believe, top games. Daniel Donmes against Mikhail Zakharov. E4 is played by Daniel Donmes. Time control is pretty simple. 5 minutes for each player plus 3 seconds per each move. So the games can last at least 10, 15 minutes. So we can cover them very deeply. French defense from Mikhail Zakharov. E6 is played by him. Knight c3, not very popular variation from Daniel Donmes. D5 and e takes d5. So exchange on d5, some drawing opportunities can appear on board. Knight f3, knight f6 is a nice move. Yeah, Mikhail is playing very solid right now. So let's watch what Daniel Donmes will do. I believe that he will play d4. It is the most logical move in this position because he needs a pawn in the center. So d4, I expect. This is one of the most logical moves in this position, and I don't know what about Daniel Donmes is thinking right now. He's a very young player. He's just 8 years old. Well, but also very experienced player. So his rating is rather high. So I expect a very interesting game from him. Queen e2, but bishop e7, queen e2. Was it a very good move or not? Not so easy to understand, but I believe that queen e2 is not the best possible decision because bishop e7, castling, and rook e8 is possible. d4 right now. It is a very good move from Daniel. Castling for Mikhail Zakharov. And what next for Daniel? Let's think about it. Bishop g5 maybe. Just bishop g5 and long castling. Why bishop d2? On d2, bishop is not very active piece. So I believe bishop d2 is not the best possible decision in this position. Knight c6. Knight c6 is played by Mikhail Zakharov. Maybe he's trying to attack pawn on d4. Maybe he has idea something like bishop g4 on the next move. So nice try from him. Maybe h3. So Daniel has to prevent bishop g4 idea. I believe h3, one of the best possible moves in this position, or maybe just long castles. Long castles, of course. So, but Daniel decided to move bishop g5. Not very logical from Daniel because he played bishop d2 on the previous move, and right now he's making move bishop g5. He could make bishop g5 on the previous move. He lost a tempo. And right now, bishop g4 is played by Mikhail Zakharov. And right now, knight d4 is a very serious threat. And how to protect pawn on d4? Long castling. Long castling to be played by Daniel Donmes. I believe that he will make this move. Come on, Daniel, let's play faster. He spent 2 minutes. Well, h3, but what about bishop takes f3, or right now knight d4? Yeah, it's even stronger, of course, and I believe that h3 was a blunder. What a pity for young and talented Turkish player. So Daniel spent half of his 5 minutes this game. And he blundered a pawn on d4. Knight cannot take on d4 right now because bishop will take queen on e2 square. So, what can he do? Let's find some counter chances for him. Queen d3 or queen d1 is the only possible move in this position right now for Daniel. Trying to escape from this pin. Queen d3, yeah, very good, very good. He's attacking knight on d4, so right now Mikhail will take on df3 with whom? It's a very good question right now, maybe even with the bishop. So Mikhail is thinking, but I believe he will take. He will take on f3 with the knight, I believe. No, I didn't guess his move. He took on f3, but with bishop. So right now, what will Daniel do? Take on f3 or take on d4? Maybe even on d4 is even better, you know. Bishop on f3 would be under attack. Pawn on d5 would not be very strong. So some counter chances against the pawn on d5, but Daniel decided to take bishop on f3 with his pawn. So double pawns on f line, they are very weak. And right now, knight goes back to c6 square. Long castling. Long castling is the most logical move in this position for Daniel, but he has to play faster. He has more than 1 minute, but not very much time. And he made a strange move. Queen f5. What about g6? Just g6. I understand his idea. He wants to make move bishop d3, take on f6 and checkmate on h7 square, but what about just g6? g6 is played by Mikhail Zakharov. It is the most logical decision in this position. He is attacking queen on f5, so queen has to go back, maybe on f4 or on d3. I believe that Daniel will play queen f4. Maybe black squares on the king side are not so strong right now, Mikhail Zakharov, but everything is okay for him. He has extra pawn, good developing on his pieces, so everything is okay for him. And Daniel Donmes has less than a minute right now in this position, so I believe that Mikhail Zakharov has very good chances to win this position right now. You know, maybe queen f4 is not possible because of knight h5, so I believe queen has to go back to d3 square, but Daniel spends a lot of time on this move. He moved queen d3, but very slow play from him, very fast play from Mikhail Zakharov. He answered with knight b4, attacking queen on d3 square. So right now, what next for Daniel? I believe that he will go back to queen d1 or queen d2. Queen d2 is the most logical move in this position, but just 10 seconds left for Daniel Donmes. For course, he should play faster, but I think the game will be ended on time. That's 2 seconds left. Yeah, Daniel Donmes lost on time, so in next games he should play faster than in this one. So nice try, but Mikhail Zakharov won this game. Let's watch some other games. Something interesting happening in this game. Amir Jab against Vladimir Filipenko. So what is going on right now in this position? Something strange. So we need to understand what is going on, because it is not quite a very strange developing of knights on a3, on h3. So very interesting, but something strange for Amir Jab. So knight f3, of course, was better as far as I'm concerned, but you know, in modern chess, you can play and win even like this. You have to bring something new to chess. Maybe Amir Jab is trying to do something like that. But what his plan? Queen h5. Queen h5, and what about knight f6? Knight f6 is one of the most logical moves. He's trying to attack queen on h5 and develop his knight. So I believe that Vladimir Filipenko will move knight f6, but he decided to make move g6, also very logical, also attacking queen on h5. I believe that Amirjab's idea was to make long castling, but it is not possible right now. Queen g4 and right now knight f6 is one logical move. So Vladimir Filipenko will make it, as far as I'm concerned. No, bishop g7. But bishop g7 also is possible. You know, knight f6, he can make this move on the next, and maybe right now. Because knight g5, you know, maybe there are some attacking ideas for Amirjab, but you know, I don't believe that it is possible. I believe that after just knight f6 and short castling, Vladimir Filipenko will be all right. But Vladimir has to play faster. Faster, or the game will be ended like previous one we saw. So h6, he's trying to attack knight on g5 and knight has to go. But maybe knight e6 was possible, you know, maybe something like that. If f take e6, queen takes g6, maybe something like that. But Amirjab decided to play knight goes back to f3 square. Right now, knight f6. One of the most logical moves in this position. Or maybe right now e5. e5 also very good, trying to attack bishop on f4. So Vladimir has to choose one of the good moves right now. Knight f6. Well, right now everything is okay for him. What about where to move with the queen for Amirjab? I believe that the only move is queen h3, you know, but g5, g4 is possible. And right now, g5, yeah, queen h3 is played by Amirjab, but right now, g5 attacking bishop, and next idea is g4 with the fork on queen and knight. Yeah, g5 is played by Vladimir Filipenko. He is attacking bishop on f4. Bishop has to go somewhere to e5 square, e5 square, and right now g4 is possible. So I believe that Vladimir will found it and win a piece, win a knight. But maybe, you know, on g4, queen g3 is possible. Yeah, g4 is played, but queen g3. Queen g3 is the only move right now for Amirjab, and on g takes f3, there would be a move queen g takes g7. Yeah, queen g3, very good play from Amirjab. Yeah, you know, very good play from him. He found very good move, but that was the only move. Maybe it was not so hard to find it. So Vladimir has to make some interesting decisions right now. What to do? What to do? Maybe just rook g8, something like that. Just protect. Yeah, rook g8 is played by Vladimir Filipenko. I guessed this move. He's trying to protect bishop on g7, and Amirjab took with bishop on f6. Bishop f6 for Vladimir Filipenko. Right now, knight on f3 is under attack, so it has to go somewhere to g2 square, I believe. Or maybe, you know, e5, something like e5 was an idea to attack bishop on f6, but Amirjab decided to play knight h4 with an idea to move his knight to f5 square. So, very strange game, but very interesting one. You know, there are a lot of variations to calculate. So, very interesting game, and Vladimir Filipenko moved king f8. Very modern chess we can see in this game. Knight f5, rook g6 is possible. Pawn on h6 is under attack, so just rook g6 to protect. Why not? For Vladimir Filipenko, but he has to play faster. I don't know why, but right now in this match, all players are playing rather slowly. I don't know the reason. The time control, of course, allows that, but not so easy to understand why they are playing so slowly. It is a blitz. Blitz is a fast play. h5 is played by Vladimir Filipenko. Of course, it is also very good. I believe that rook g6 was slightly better, but it's okay for Vladimir Filipenko right now. Knight h6, attacking rook on g8, but right now rook g6. Only move, logical move in this position. So come on, Vladimir. Let's just play rook g6 and attack knight on h6 square. And Amirjab will have to go back to f5 square. And then we'll think what to do next. But Vladimir is thinking, he has less than 1 minute, and I'm afraid that he will go into time troubles, and even he can lost on time, like in previous game, Daniel Donmes. Rook g6 is played by Vladimir Filipenko. He is attacking knight on h6, so I believe that Amirjab will go back to f5. Yeah, it was the only move. Amirjab is playing pretty fast. He has more than 3 minutes, so maybe even the position is okay for him. Right now, what about queen d6 after e6? Knight h4, it is a blunder. Of course, bishop can take on h4 and queen protects bishop. Well, also nice try from Vladimir Filipenko. Of course, bishop h2 was much more easier, but f4 also is possible. And right now, what is the only move? Queen f2? Well, right now, knight g6. Knight g6, of course, is possible for Amirjab. I believe that previous move of Vladimir Filipenko was a blunder, and one more blunder for Amirjab. He could take rook on g6. So... And Vladimir Filipenko, he has just 20 seconds left in this game. And what move he will make? He decided to move rook back to g8, and right now, why would he took with queen? What is going on in this game? Right now, bishop f6, attacking knight on h4, which was under attack on the previous move. Long castling for Amirjab. Okay, extra knight for Vladimir Filipenko. I believe that he will convert it into a point, but Amirjab has some practical chances because Vladimir Filipenko has not a lot of time left on the clock. So bishop g5 is a check, king b1 is the only move logical in this position, and right now bishop e3, okay move. I believe queen f6 was slightly better, trying to exchange queens. It is the most logical plan to exchange all pieces when you have extra material. So... what counter chances? Maybe something like queen h5. I believe it's not the best possible decision because queen g5, yeah. Queen g5, and Vladimir is playing very logical chess right now because he's trying to exchange queens to go into endgame. Right now, queen f3, and yeah, very good. Queen g4, and exchanging of queens is coming on board. So... queen takes g4, rook takes g4, bishop will go to h3 or to e2, something like that. b3. Why b3? What is the idea of this move? Not so easy to understand. f5, bishop h3, attacking rook on g4 square. I believe Vladimir will make move something like, yeah, rook g5 is played. Okay. Rook f1. Rook f1, the most logical for Amirjab, and he made this move. He's trying to make Vladimir Filipenko go into time trouble. But Vladimir decided to play really fast. King b2. Solid move. Very solid move. Vladimir, rook h8. Rook f8. Also very nice try. But right now, knight has to go somewhere to b5 or to c4. Amirjab decided to play knight b5, attacking pawn on a7, and maybe with some ideas to go to c7. Yeah, and attacking pawn on e6. Well, very interesting play from both players. Just 5 seconds left for Vladimir Filipenko, and knight e8 is coming. So rook f6 is a blunder. Amirjab has to find knight e8. Yeah, knight f7. Maybe even knight d6 was possible right now to gain a bishop on b7, but Amirjab decided to take rook on f6, rook f3. On the next move, yeah, very good play. King g6. Right now, pawn on e4 is under attack. Vladimir. Rook h5. Great move from Vladimir. He is attacking bishop on h3. And very good chances for Vladimir Filipenko. But on what result? Not so easy to understand what is going on in this position. Well, Too many blunders in this game. And right now, of course, e takes e5 was a good move. We've discovered check and then bishop b7, but the game is going really fast right now, and I believe that Vladimir Filipenko will win this game because he has two bishop and knight for rook and two pawns, so his position is totally winning. Amirjab has a lot of time, but not so good position. So Vladimir Filipenko has to convert it into a point without a doubt. Rook f8 with some counter chances. Right now, knight c3. Why not knight c3? Knight c3 with some ideas. Knight b5 then. b5 is played, but right. Well, rook g8, but it's okay because knight on e4 protects rook on g3. Rook f8, king e5. King e5. Rook e8. Why on e8? On a8 was slightly, but logical. So, rook g7, rook f1. Very interesting game and huge time trouble for Vladimir Filipenko. I believe that he will win this game, but something will happen in this game. Remember this word, something will happen in this game. c4, 7 seconds left for Vladimir Filipenko. Rook h5, check. King d6, okay. Rook d8, king e7 is possible, yeah. Right now, what next move for Amirjab? Rook a8, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most logical in this position, but he decided to move rook g8, and right now, rook g7, king d6, king d6, and as far as I'm concerned, Vladimir Filipenko is winning. Winning because pass pawn on d3 will go into queens in a few moves. And right now, rook g4, d2. d2 is possible. d takes c2, of course, is even better. And right now, c1 queen. So congratulations to Vladimir Filipenko. And right now, bishop d2 is even checkmate. Bishop d2 was a checkmate. Queen c1 and bishop d2. Come on. Bishop c5. Yeah, okay, it's also very good checkmate. b4 and bishop or queen will take on b4. Right, very good play. You know, very interesting play. b4 and with whom he will take? With queen. It is a checkmate, of course. So our congratulations to Vladimir Filipenko. And now let's watch some other games. What about this one? Bayakan against Korolev Platon. Wow, one more game in which I cannot even understand what is going on right now. I believe that everything is okay for whom? For whom? Not so easy even to answer this question. Queen goes back to d8 square. Something strange we can see in this match. But very interesting, very modern chess from both countries. Queen d2, attacking pawn on h6. Well, I believe that white position is better and maybe even winning because they have extra pawn and this pawn is on g7 square. Knight d4 is without any threats. Knight can take on d4, yeah. Bishop takes on d4 and queen h6. Yeah. With a serious threat, knight f6 and everything is all over. What a pity for Platon Korolev. Or even queen h7 also possible, you know. And I believe that knight f6 was slightly better. Right now, well defense from Platon Korolev, but right now queen f5 is possible. Queen f5 Bayakan. Queen f5 with serious attack. And everything will be all over. Knight b4. Why knight goes back? Easy to understand. And right now, bishop b2, you know, there are some counter chances for Platon Korolev because right now bishop c3 is possible and white king will also be in some damage. Why bishop d4? You can make bishop d4 on the next move after bishop c3 check. And right now rook b7 is possible. You know, knight on d3 is a very good piece because it protects pawn on f2 square. Well, very interesting play. And how to win this position for white? Not so easy to understand. King on e6, of course, is in danger, in huge trouble. Pawn on g7 is very strong. Everything is okay for white, but how to convert it into a point? Rook c7 was the last move played by Platon Korolev. Queen f3. Well, you know, there is something strange idea. Bishop c3 there. Well, maybe something went wrong for Bayakan, you know. Queen h6 check. Queen f6 or pawn f6 is the only two moves. The only two moves in this position. Queen goes back. And what next? What next for Platon? Bayakan decided to exchange queens. It is a good decision. And right now we are going into endgame. Rook takes g7. The pawn falls down. But right now Bayakan is free, has 3 extra pawns. Maybe not free because pawn on h3 is very weak and it will disappear from board on the next move. So what right now? c5? What about c5, Baya? I believe that c5 is the most logical move with an idea c6, c7. And move this pawn into queens, why not? So, king d1, what is the idea? What is the idea of king d1? And then king d2. Interesting play. Interesting play from Bayakan, but now he has just 2 extra pawns, and maybe there is an idea, rook a1. Rook a1 is a serious idea, yeah. So, Platon Korolev is trying to attack pawns. All pawns of Bayakan. Well, what is going on? Why knight f5? e5. Well, strange decision from Turkish player. And right now, Platon Korolev. Well, and but right now, Bayakan blundered even rook on a7, so he lost this winning game in just 2 moves. What a pity for young and talented Turkish player. But I believe that he will win in next games. So let's watch some other games. What about this one? Karakan defense, as far as I'm concerned, was played. Matvey Smirnov, Turkish player, Chistova Ekaterina, is representing Team Moscow. Rook a1. Last move. Strange decision for Matvey, because there are no threats for Ekaterina Chistova. King c2. Now, Ekaterina, of course, knows that in the end games, in Karakan defense, everything should be okay for black. And they even can play for the win. But not maybe right now, because I don't see any active plans for Ekaterina, but she found a very good maneuver. Knight d7, knight takes d7, rook d7, rook d1. So, pawn on d4 should be under attack in a few moves, and b5, very classical decision, very good understanding of chess for Ekaterina Chistova. Yeah, she's very good in positional chess. Her average move is very strong. And conclude that right now, c5. So, now Ekaterina can double rooks on d line, but she decided to play b4, and you know, there were an idea king d3, but there was bishop c5 an idea, so Matvey Smirnov decided to play g4, and now Ekaterina played rook d8, and she doubles rook on d line, and the next move should be bishop f6. And what to do with pawn on d4? f4 is a strange move, because right now bishop f6, 3 attacks on pawn on d4, just 2 defenses. And how to defend pawn on d4? Matvey, rook d3, well, and on rook d4 and on bishop d4 there would be rook d1 move. Wow, incredible defense from Matvey Smirnov, you know, very interesting decision from young Turkish player. And now Ekaterina has to find a new plan how to do something new in this position and gain some new advantages. King f8. I believe rook d5 was better. Rook d5, g5. Now bishop is under attack. Yeah, maybe Matvey found a nice plan, you know. Maybe it is a good one. So maybe king f8 was not the best move. I believe that rook d5 was much better. Of course, preventing g5 idea. So right now, bishop goes back to e7, rook goes to d1. It was not obligatory. Rook d2, of course, was something also a nice try. Bishop c5 was a threat, so Matvey decided to protect rook on d3 one more time. f6, g6. Wow, very good play from both players. Very interesting play. 1 hour left in our tournament. Everything is going more and more interesting. Very fast play from Matvey Smirnov. He has even more than 5 minutes. Less than 3 minutes for Ekaterina Chestova. And I believe she's playing for a win this position. But how exactly she can do that? And right now, rook d5. Or maybe rook c5. Wait, well, not rook c5, bishop c5. Bishop c5 is possible for Ekaterina. Yeah, she found that. Bishop c5. Nice chess tactics. h6 is played by Matvey Smirnov. Well, maybe bishop c5 was a blunder for Ekaterina, because right now g takes h6, g7 with g8 threat. Right now Ekaterina decided to make logical move, bishop b6, and h7 she will play king e7. King e7. Wow, what an interesting game. What an interesting game for both players. h7, king e7 is the only move for Ekaterina. Rook h1, rook h8. Rook h8. Ekaterina? Yeah, rook h8. You know there is such a move, bishop h6 right now in this position for Matvey Smirnov. Yeah, he found that because Ekaterina cannot take on h6 because of g7 and pawn will promote the queens, but king f8. Ekaterina, come on, just king f8 to protect pawn on g7. And then you can take bishop on h6. Yeah, very good defense from Ekaterina. She's very good in such chess, in defensive chess. So Matvey decided to play bishop d2. He's trying to attack pawn on b4. What about c5 move? But I believe Ekaterina will play bishop a5. Come on, Ekaterina, bishop a5. Just to protect pawn. She decided to take. What about bishop? Well, I believe that yeah, right now exchanging of rooks on bishop b4. It's what is going on right now. c5? c5 for Ekaterina. Yeah, c5, bishop a3. So pawn on h7 is a monster. Pawn on h7 is a monster. Rook h4 with a serious threat. Rook d4, but e5 is possible for Ekaterina. e5, okay. King d7 also possible, but I believe that e5 was better with an idea. King e6, king f5. Bishop c1 with a serious threat. Bishop h6, but f5 will be played. Yeah, f5. Yeah, very good play from Ekaterina. And wow, rook d4 and wow. Incredible. You know, that incredible chess play from Matvey Smirnov. Bishop h6 right now. King e7, bishop g7, and it's all over. What a pity for Ekaterina. And on the next move, queen will appear on h8 square. Wow. Brilliant chess tactics from Matvey Smirnov. It is a very good candidate for the game of the day. Let's remember Matvey Smirnov against Ekaterina Chestova. So right now f4, h8 queen, rook takes, bishop takes. Extra bishop for Matvey Smirnov, and I believe that Ekaterina has to resign in this position. Bishop takes on d4, and everything is all over. So Ekaterina... What a pity for young and talented Russian girl. But she will win another games. Just don't continue this game and win another. Okay, Ekaterina, that's our advice for you. Of course, she doesn't want to resign. She had very good position, but brilliant chess tactics from Matvey Smirnov turned the game around. So Ekaterina resigned. Let's watch another games. Demyan Shevtsov, we remember this player, also very good one. So let's watch, I believe, this game. Demyan Shevtsov one more time against Matvey Smirnov. So, Matvey, very interesting play from you. Bishop b4. Albin's counter gambit is so-called opening. So bishop b4 with check. So Demyan has to do something like that. Well, bishop d2, d takes e3. Well, Demyan, what is going on? Right now, the only move is king e2. And your position is totally lost. Wow, I believe that something went wrong for Demyan. So, because Matvey Smirnov has now extra pawn on f2, of course it is very weak, but I believe that his position is quite okay. So right now, knight c2, bishop c2 is possible idea. Right now, knight c2. What about rook d1? Rook d1, yeah, very logical play from Demyan Shevtsov. I don't understand why Matvey is playing so fast. King e2 or king g3. Maybe Demyan is thinking about king g3. Yeah, he made the king g3 move. It is an end game with a lot of pieces, so maybe there will be no checkmate threats for the king on g3 square. Knight goes from c2 to e3, attacking rook on d1. So rook e1 is played by Demyan Shevtsov, very interesting from him. Long castling for Matvey Smirnov. And what about h3 move? h3, Demyan. Well, you know, maybe even knight h4 also a nice try, because what to do? Bishop goes back to e6 square. Yeah, I believe that everything should be okay for Matvey. And Demyan has to find something. h3, yeah, very nice move. He's trying to attack knight on g4. Knight takes on f1 check. Rook will take on f1. Knight goes back to h6 square. And what to do next for Demyan? I believe b3 is possible because pawn on c4 is under attack. Demyan. Pawn on c4 is under attack and he blundered, I believe, this pawn. b3 was the best possible move. Rook d3, rook f3. Right now, Demyan is pawn down in this endgame. Well, one blunder for Demyan. He had bad position from the opening, but he found very good defense, very good counter chances. But then he made one more blunder. What a pity for this great young player. King f4. Of course, Demyan has some activity. d6, preventing knight b5 maybe. But knight now goes to e4, maybe to c5, to d6. Yeah, knight goes to d6. Pawn on b7 is under attack, b5 is played by Matvey Smirnov. Maybe a5, a4 is an idea, so I believe right now knight will go to f3 square. And then knight will go to d4. Yeah, knight f3, knight d4 is the plan for Demyan. And what is the plan for Matvey Smirnov? Knight on h6 is out of play. And Matvey has to do something with it, but he decided to make a very logical move f6 because Demyan cannot take on f6 because king will take on d6 square. So what can Demyan do in this position? Knight has to go back, I believe, to e4 square. Or maybe just continue this plan, knight d4, because on if f takes e5, king can take on e5. So knight goes back to e4, g5, g5. King will go to e3. And what next? And right now, Demyan can take not only on e5, but also on g5. I believe g5 was a blunder for Matvey Smirnov. It was not the best possible move at all. So right now, even bishop on e6 is under attack, bishop f5. And something went wrong for Matvey Smirnov. You know, right now, Demyan has maybe not better chances, but very good chances in this position. Bishop b1, but a3 or a4 for Demyan is possible. a3 is the most logical, of course, move in this position. a5 is played by Matvey Smirnov. He has 3 pawns on the queen side on the board. So 2 minutes left for Demyan Shevtsov. More than 5 minutes for Matvey Smirnov. He's playing extremely fast. Extremely fast. Knight goes to f3. What is the idea, Demyan? What if king d6? Yeah. g5? Not g5. Not the best possible move. h4, g5. Maybe. Some ideas to exchange pawns on the king side of the board. What do you think about that? Right now, maybe even king d4, but king d4 is also not very good because c5 will appear on board. So Demyan has some problems still in this position. Bishop c2 attacking pawn on b3. Right now, b4 is the only move. Or knight d4. Knight d4, also nice try. Knight goes to d4. Why knight d2? So easy to understand the decision of Demyan Shevtsov. So c5, okay, for Matvey. He's playing logical right now. You know, Matvey is a very strong player, we can say that. Goes without saying. b4, should take on b4. Or maybe, yeah, well, a4 also possible, but I believe that a should take on b4. A should take on b4, yeah. On the previous move, king goes to d5 square by Matvey Smirnov. King goes back to e3. Knight goes to f7 with an idea knight d6 and c4, but h4, g5, h5, g6 maybe is a plan for Demyan Shevtsov right now, but yeah, Matvey continues his plan, knight d6 and c4. And how to protect against this? Knight e1 maybe? Knight e1? Yeah, knight e1, but bishop d1, g5? g5, come on Demyan. Come on. g5, yeah, but knight f5, yeah. Knight f5, unfortunately, for Demyan. Knight goes to d3 square, king d4. I believe there are no counterplay for Demyan Shevtsov because right now king will appear on c3 square. And well, very technical decision from Matvey Smirnov. He is exchanging knights and his position is totally winning. So the next move is king c3. You know, Demyan even doesn't have very good move. Knight goes to c4, but bishop can take on b3, knight f5, and bishop a4. 2 extra pawns and totally lost position for Demyan Shevtsov. I believe he should resign this position. Yeah, very sadly defeat for Demyan Shevtsov. He resigned, but what can he do right now? Let's watch some other games, which should be very interesting. Maybe something like interesting in that game. Maybe something like that. Dasha Shamoeva against Ahmed Hamza. Dasha played e4 and he's waiting for a move of Hamza Ahmed. But he decided not to play. Yeah, but black didn't move. Easy win for Daria Shamoeva. So let's watch some other games. Let's one more time. Ahmed Hamza decided to play with white pieces against Blagoveshensky Roman. French defense one more time. Exchange variation. Very simple play from white. Knight goes to f3, knight goes to f6 by Blagoveshensky Roman, knight goes to c3. It's also okay, but not the best possible variant in such position, but it is also possible. Not the best one, but possible, of course. Well, right now, bishop goes to g5, and I believe next move is queen d2 and long castling, yeah? Or bishop d3. What will Ahmed do? Bishop d3 or queen d2? How do you think? I believe that bishop goes to d3. Bishop d3. Come on, Ahmed. It is one of the most classical. Ahmed decided to take on f6. Strange decision because position is wide open and two bishops will bring some advantage to Blagoveshensky Roman. So taking on f6 was not the best possible decision, and right now bishop d3. Interesting play from Ahmed, but Blagoveshensky Roman decided to exchange bishops. Of course, Ahmed has to take with queen. It goes without saying, even with an idea queen b5. Ahmed, what are you thinking about? So, Ahmed, let's take with queen. The most logical move. Of course, you also can take with pawn, but there would be double pawns on d line, so queen d3 is the only possible logical move in this position. Don't waste time. You will need time in the future. Don't waste it right here. But Ahmed is still thinking. It's not so easy for me to understand what he's thinking about. Yeah, he took with queen, but he wasted for about 30, 40 or 40 seconds. Castling for Roman Blagoveshensky. And castling for Ahmed Hamza is the most logical long castling. Okay. Okay, and what next plan for Roman Blagoveshensky? Pawn to c6. I believe pawn to c6. a5. Very active play from Roman Blagoveshensky. He decided to start pawn attack on the queen side of the board. Very logical play. Because castlings were made to the different sides of the board, so pawn attack is the most logical decision in this position. And Ahmed Hamza also is trying to start attack h4 is also logical move, b5. But I believe Roman is faster in this position. So rook h1. Why rook h1? What is the idea? Strange play from Ahmed. So there was a move rook a1, and then he moved back to h1 square. a3. Why a3? Ahmed. Strange play. You open your queen side. Not so easy to understand the last decision of Ahmed Hamza because b can take on a3. Or maybe, you know, there is such an opportunity, something like bishop e7 or queen e7 or queen d6, something like that. Come on, Roman, bishop, no. Okay, he moved knight a6. Well, a takes b4 is not the best decision for Ahmed Hamza. Right now, something went wrong for him. Right now, queen will go to b6. Queen b6, come on. Okay, bishop e7 also very good. Now there are some threats of the discovered check or discovered attack for Roman Blagoveshensky, and Ahmed has to do something with that. And it's not so easy to understand what exactly can he do. What is the threat? Queen e3. Queen c2 was a serious threat, yeah. Queen c2 was a serious threat. Right now, a3 maybe, Roman. Or maybe queen a5 blundering on e7 square, yeah? a3, very logical play from Roman Blagoveshensky. His attack should be much more faster. Very well. Knight a2, king will go somewhere, and I believe that Roman can take with bishop. Queen b6. Okay. Okay, very good play from Roman Blagoveshensky, and now there would be checkmate in a few moves. I believe that queen should take on a3, bishop will take on a3, king will take on a3, rook a8. Rook a8, checkmate. Very good attack from Roman Blagoveshensky, very classical play. Very classical attack. Well, maybe we should some interesting games. Maybe something like that. Anton Kaminsky against one more time Yekaterina Chestova. One of the leaders this team. Knight goes to d7, and now classical move is f4. Yeah, Anton Kaminsky played very logical. Right now, f4 protecting knight on e5. Knight goes to e4. Yekaterina shows us great understanding of chess. I believe that something like Holland defense was played. It was the opening. But right now it doesn't make a sense because the game is going on. So, d takes e5 was the last move by Anton Kaminsky, and where to go with the queen? To e7 or to c5? How do you think? I believe that to c5 was better. But Yekaterina decided to play more solid this time. She played queen e7. King h1. Played by Anton Kaminsky. I don't understand the idea. Maybe right now queen h4 is possible. An idea of knight g3. So, yeah, Yekaterina played queen h4. Knight g3 is a serious threat. So Anton decided to exchange his bishop on knight on e4. Very good decision from the positional point of view. D takes e4. And right now, square on d6 is very weak. And a very bad bishop on c8 square. For Yekaterina Chestova, maybe game went out of control. And right now, I believe knight will go to c4 by Anton Kaminsky, and then to d6 square, but he decided to play g4. What an interesting play from him. Active play from young, talented Turkish player. So, and what to do for Yekaterina? Just bishop d7? Maybe just bishop d7. Not to do anything, just develop bishop. Or maybe b6 with an idea of bishop b7, bishop a6, something like that. Yekaterina decided to go back queen e7. Some kind of passive play from Yekaterina. She has worse position, less time. But you know her position is quite solid, so it would be not very easy for Anton Kaminsky to beat it. So queen goes to e7. What is the plan for Anton Kaminsky in this position? I believe that knight c4 is still a very good move, with an idea to move a queen or knight on d6, but Anton decided to take on f5. I believe there were some better opportunities than that, but okay, rook g3 with some maybe queen g1 ideas or something like that. Why to d7, Yekaterina? Why not to e6? Why to d7? Strange decision from Yekaterina Chestova. Right now she has to play, she decided to play bishop a8, but there was also a plan to move bishop on e6 and then to f7 on the previous move. So right now, bishop g6 is played by Ekaterina Chistova. She's trying to defend this position, but it would be not very easy to do that at all. So rook d8 is the plan for her, and knight has to go to d6 square for Anton Kaminsky. It is the most logical plan in this position. Knight has to go there. So, but queen g2 was made. Not so easy to understand the idea, because bishop on g6 is well protected. Ekaterina decided to play queen e6, preventing knight c4. White offers draw, black declines draw. I believe that Ekaterina should accept it, because her position is quite worse as far as I'm concerned. b5. Nice prophylaxis from Ekaterina Chistova. She is preventing knight c5, or knight c4. So, c4 for Anton Kaminsky, but Ekaterina can play rook d8. She cannot react right now. There are no threats by the move c4. Yeah, and she decided to play rook d8. Very good play from Ekaterina. Her next move should be rook d3 maybe. And then double rooks on d line. Very nice play. h5 maybe. You know, maybe there is an idea h4, h5 for Anton Kaminsky. And how to protect against this? h4, Anton. I don't see how to protect from the idea h5. But Anton has to find very good move h4. You know, there he made some moves, rook g3, queen g2, rook g1. He's thinking about the idea h4, and then he made a bad move. Knight b1 is a bad move, of course. Maybe he blundered the pawn on c4. Not so easy to understand. And right now, what can Ekaterina do in this position? She could not take, I believe, on c4 because of h4, h5 still is a serious threat. Rook d7 maybe. Just rook d7. Why not? Rook d7 and then protect pawn on g7 with one more rook maybe. But Ekaterina decided to take on c4. And what on h4, h5? Hey, what an explanation. What will be played on this logical idea, but Anton decided to play rook h3. And what's your threat? Rook h7. I understand his idea, but what about queen f7? Queen f7? Come on, Ekaterina, let's just defend. 2 minutes left for Ekaterina. She has better chances after queen f7. It goes without saying, but she has not to blunder rook h7, and she didn't. So rook d7 also a nice try to defend pawn on g7. It is the main idea of this last her move. So what next for Anton Kaminsky? Come on, Anton, let's show us your plan. I believe rook g3, h4, h5 is the only opportunity to make some counterplay right now in this position. So what can else Anton do except rook g3, h4, h5? Personally, I don't see anything. Personally, I don't see anything. Maybe queen b2 also a nice move, but it is only a move, not a plan. Queen goes to g5. I don't know what is the idea of Anton's this last move. 30 minutes left in our tournament. So maybe just rook b8 or rook d8 is possible for Ekaterina Chistova. Rook b8, I believe, is the most logical move in this position. Why not to include last piece into game? So Ekaterina, just don't waste your time. You have better position. You have better chances. You have more time. Don't waste it. So rook d8. Rook d8. With an idea, I believe, rook d1 and exchange rooks. Something like that. So, Ekaterina is near a win. So she is preparing rook d1 with an exchanging of very active rook on g1 and a4, strange move, and now she will not take on a4, she will play rook d1. I believe that she will play rook d1, she will continue her plan, or queen e6. She protects something maybe. I believe queen e6 was not the best possible move, but it's okay one. She didn't spoil her position with her last move. So rook g3, rook d1. Ekaterina, just move rook d1. Don't be scared. Just rook d1 and exchange some active pieces of Anton. Rook d1, maybe h4 will come on board. But then rook d7. So everything is okay for you, Ekaterina. Don't be scared. Just play faster. You have 10 extra seconds and 1 extra pawn in this position. Rook d1 is played by Ekaterina, yeah. Very nice decision. So rook d1. And what Anton will do? h4, h5 is only opportunity, but he decided to play knight c3. Rook will take on g1. Rook will take on g1, yeah. So what next? Rook on d8 is under attack. Ekaterina has to play rook d7, protecting pawn on g7 with her rook. So rook d7, Ekaterina faster. Rook d3. She's trying to attack. Very nice. Knight goes back to e1 square, and now she can take on e3. And what about queen d8? Yeah, queen d8 maybe is the only opportunity for Anton to make some counterplay. Yeah, queen d8, king f7, or queen e8. Yeah, queen e8. Ekaterina is trying to exchange queens. Very logical. Queen c7. So, what next for Ekaterina? I believe that she will play rook d3, also very strong decision. Her maybe next idea is e3, bishop f7, and bishop d5. Rook d7, okay. Very nice decision from Ekaterina. So both players goes into time trouble. 20 seconds left for them. Rook d5 played by Ekaterina. So what will appear on board by Anton? Anton played queen b4. What about e3 or bishop f7? And Ekaterina is still trying to exchange queens. Anton doesn't want to do that. So he decided to play queen b6, attacking pawn on c5 and queen c5. Yeah, queen c5. So queen goes back to f8 after check on b8 square. Queen goes back to b6. Anton is trying to force a draw. c5 is played by Ekaterina Chistova. And what about queen e6? Queen e6 was best possible move for Anton, but he decided to play a5, a6. Rook b8. Queen e6 will appear on board immediately, I believe. 10 seconds left for Anton. Queen c7, okay. What next? Rook c8. Ekaterina is trying to attack queen. So rook b8, Ekaterina. Yeah, rook b8. Rook b8, and then queen c7, rook c8. Queen c8 played by Ekaterina. Okay, very interesting. And Anton decided to exchange queens. And now knight will go to c3, rook to a1, and maybe Ekaterina made a mistake, because right now, how to prevent the idea a7, knight b5, knight c7? I don't see any opportunity to do that. Knight goes to b5, king goes to d7 square, but e6, something like that. What about e6? But king goes to c6 in that case. So Anton decided to play knight d6, bishop e8, king g1, king goes in the center. Kings goes to the center. 10 seconds left for Ekaterina, 15 for Anton. Well, there was an idea. Well, blunder made by Anton Kaminsky. What a pity for him. Clearly winning position. And he blundered a knight and he blundered the game. He loses this game. G5 would be next move by Ekaterina. G5, come on, Ekaterina. Just G5, but she decided to play King E6, King C4, Bishop D5, King takes on C5. Maybe some counter chances for Anton Kaminsky, but Ekaterina, come on, let's play faster. I believe that something interesting will happen in this game. And now Rook can go somewhere. Rook can go somewhere because King on B6 protects pawn on A7. So King is doing some job. So King goes to A6. H6 by Ekaterina. She is prepared on G5. Rook B1. G5? G5, Ekaterina, come on, G5. Yeah, G5, but Rook B6. Rook B6 was better. Rook B8, she cannot react. Yeah, very good play from Ekaterina, and now she is winning this endgame. Not without luck, because Anton blundered a bishop on, not a bishop, a knight on B5 in clearly winning position. Right now, everything is all over in this game. Ekaterina promoted the queen, and she will checkmate her opponent in few moves. And King D6, King D6, and Queen C7. Oh, also nice try. So Ekaterina will easily Queen D7 right now. Yeah, everything is okay. Now let's switch to another game. Maybe even much more interesting. Something like that, maybe. Or to... Let's watch something interesting. Vladimir Filipenko against Anton Kaminsky. Very interesting play, I believe that. Let's watch the opening. Slightly more than 20 minutes left in our tournament. So exchanging of dark squared bishops appeared on board. And right now I believe everything is okay for black, but also as for white. So I believe it is a rather equal position. Knight goes to b3 with an idea to go to c5, maybe square, but Anton Kaminsky decided to play knight d7, and right now bishop d3 and exchanging of white square bishops also. c5, yeah, very logical play from Anton Kaminsky, and I believe he is also okay. His position is very good, very solid. Vladimir Filipenko is trying to exchange even queens, and it happens. So he takes d4 and b5 with an idea b4. So Vladimir Filipenko has to do something. Yeah, a5 maybe. a5, yeah, of course. I believe that Anton has some initiative in this game. So I believe that black's chances in this position are slightly better. Black offers draw. I believe that Vladimir has to accept it, but Vladimir decided to decline draw proposal. So knight goes to e5 square. Strange decision from Vladimir Filipenko. I believe his position is slightly worse. I believe that he didn't lose this game, but I believe that his position is slightly worse. Knight goes to e4. Yeah, and some problems for Vladimir Filipenko right now on this board, so he has to make some decisions to protect this position. Rook d1, played by Vladimir Filipenko. Rook d8 is played by Anton Kaminsky. They both made some medium moves. f3. f3, attacking knight on e4. Knight will go back to d6 square, maybe then to c4. I believe that Anton's position is better, so Vladimir Filipenko's decision to decline draw was not a very good one as far as I'm concerned. So I believe he made a wrong decision to decline this draw proposal, but it is much more interesting for us. We'll watch a very interesting game. Oh, why not? Let's play chess. F6 attacking, well, something interesting, and let's calculate some variations. I don't believe it can happen. It can work. So, Vladimir, what can you do right now in this position? Maybe just go back. Vladimir decided not to calculate variations at all, and he decided to go back with his knight to d3 square, and then I believe that Anton has to go to why to g5. No, on g5 it is a very strange decision. Knight goes to c5 right now. Attacking pawn on e6. h4 is a very serious threat, so maybe rook d6 or rook c6 is the idea for Anton Kaminsky. Rook d7, and it is a blunder. Vladimir took the rook on d7, and everything is all over for Anton Kaminsky. What a pity. Rather equal position, but Anton blundered. One more time. And let's watch one more interesting game. Daria Shamoeva against Matvey Smirnov. So exchanging of knights on f6 square, bishop d5, bishop b7, rook castling, and maybe what to do for Matvey. So maybe something like bishop c6 or knight d4 right now is possible, discovered attack. Like that. Queen e1 is a very logical and a very classical decision in this position. So, but Daria decided to play, like I mentioned, knight to d4 after exchange on c6, and now she blundered. But she blundered a pawn. And why she is playing so fast? Both players are playing so fast, and Matvey has extra pawn right now, pawn to f6. Of course, both players are good at chess tactics, at calculation, but why they are playing so fast, I don't understand. Rook d4 and clearly winning position for Matvey Smirnov. Just one blunder for Daria Shamoeva. So now c4 and everything is all over, or not? Rook takes. One more time with rook. Pawn ending. So what is going on, Daria? And c3, c2. So you have to blunder. So you have to resign in this game. Very strange play from Daria Shamoeva. Very good. She was playing very fast, but not very good at all. She could play better. She has to play better. She has to play better in next game. But now let's switch to in our games. Well, let's watch this one. Pasha 2019, Dogan Akmal. So, interesting opening. Now there is a serious threat, Queen b4. Queen b4 is an opportunity for Akmal Dogan. So, knight goes to c3. Strange decision to Pavel. b6, also strange decision for Akmal. I believe that double pawns on d-line is not very good. But right now d6 is possible. d6, but bishop b7 is played. I believe d6 was better. d6 right now also, well, okay. But queen goes to e2. Queen or knight will take. Queen takes on e5. Exchanging of queens will appear on board, I believe that. On Akmal, let's exchange queens. Let's go into endgame, but he decided to play c5 right now. Exchanging of queens. Very fast play from both players, but I believe that they should play another way on the previous moves. I believe that Pavel made several mistakes, also as Akmal Dogan. Castling for Pavel. King f6, very active king. And what about knight e5? But rook goes to e1. Knight goes to d7 square. Very fast play from both players. exchanging of all rooks, rook e1 or king f1. What do you think will be played right now in this position? Pavel decided to exchange all rooks. I believe that the game will end in a draw in several moves. So c4 is played. C4, such a strange move, you know, but maybe possible one. So bishop goes to c2. Maybe it is a time to play g6 or h6 for Akmal. b5, a5, b4 is also a very good idea for him. Yeah, of course, why not? And what to do for Pavel? f4 maybe. f4, king f2, king e3, and maybe some activity on the king side of the board. Because he is weaker on the queen side, so he should play on the king side of the board. It is the most logical, but he decided to play knight f3. 15 minutes left in our tournament, and Akmal Dogan played a5. Played a5 with an idea b4. b4, a3, preventing b4. What next for Akmal? So let's show us your plan. I believe that it's time to play h6 or g6. But Akmal decided to play knight b6 without any threats. So I believe right now the best possible decision is to play knight e5. Knight e5, because knight b6 was not the best move at all. But Pavel decided to play king f1. h6 is played by Akmal, very good move. And what next? And what next for Pavel? King e2, g5, active play from Akmal, also on the king side of the board. But I don't think it is very logical. It doesn't spoil his position. But strange play. g5. h6 was a good move, but g5, I believe it not good, because right now g4 is possible for Pavel to prevent f5. So Pavel, let's play g4. Knight e5. f6 right now is possible. f6, and what to do? Or there is a plan. f5. f5 is played by Akmal Dogan. So strange, strong knight on e5 for Pavel. Very interesting. g4, yeah, very good. You know, the decision to play on the king side, I believe, was not very good one. So I believe Akmal made a mistake when he started his play on the king side of the board, because he is weaker on the king side. Well, knight a4, bishop takes a4, and everything is okay for Pavel. So he maybe even can play this position for a win, but I believe the game will end in a draw, because I don't see how to make this position better for both sides. Knight g6 is also possible way to do something. You know, maybe this position, it is totally draw. Knight g6, but king can go to f7, something like that. King f7 is the most logical, but because it is a draw, because white king can go anywhere. It has no way to go into the fifth rank or further. Black offers draw, and I believe Pavel has to accept it. Pavel, you don't have any opportunities to enlarge your advantage. Of course, you will not lose, and I believe that Akmal makes the right decision to propose a draw. Yeah, draw accepted, and the game ended in a draw. Very good play from both of them. So very interesting something. Well, let's watch this one. Very interesting endgame of Matvey Smirnov against Vladimir Filipenko. Queen against rook, knight, and pawn. Interesting. Very interesting endgame, and we'll can watch it. I believe that right now the best possible decision is to take on f5 and then move knight d7. Because rook d2 is not the best way to play chess right now in this position. f6 is a serious threat for Matvey Smirnov, so Vladimir Filipenko has to do something with that. So king g3, what to do for Vladimir Filipenko? Well, f6, I believe he can be checkmated even in a few moves, so very active play from Vladimir Filipenko, but very undoubtful. So f6, and Vladimir is trying to make a decision where to go with his king, but I think the decision is the only one, so he can go to h7. It is the only logical move in this position, and Vladimir decided to play king h7. So maybe queen d4, queen d3 was better, of course. Right now, rook will take on a3 with check, and then, yeah, knight will go to d5. Knight d5. Yeah, very good defense from Vladimir Filipenko. e6 is played by Matvey Smirnov. Wow. And what is the aim? Is the main idea of this move? e6, if take on e6, f7, and everything is all over. Yeah, and right now queen e3, yeah, very good chess tactics from Matvey Smirnov. Very good tactics. And now rook, yeah, e takes f7, and now the pawn, the queen will appear on board. Next move. King f3, and everything is all over in this game. So very good defense from Vladimir Filipenko, but very nice chess tactics from Matvey Smirnov. And now checkmate on g7 will appear on board in a few moves. Rook b4, king t3, rook b3, king c2. So Vladimir Filipenko has to resign in this game. Of course, without saying that he made a solid defense, but king d3 right now, or king d3 even was easier, I believe. But okay, right now, yeah, king g7 check, mate. And now, what can we say? What can we analyze? Maybe there are some interesting games. So let's watch this one. Why not to watch a game of Nikita Arikov against Baikal? Why not? So everything is okay right now, but I believe that Nikita Arikov has extra pawn right now in this position. So he has an advantage. But maybe Baikal has some counterplay. Bishop g5. Bishop g5 looks very logical. Nikita, oh, bishop g5. I'm so sorry, it is the evening. Bishop g5 is not possible right now because pawn on d2 didn't go anywhere yet. h3, preventing knight g4. Yeah, nice play from Nikita Arikov. He is very good at prophylaxis, at positional chess. So, what is the plan for Baikal? Knight queen d4. He's trying to attack pawn on f2 square and made a checkmate, but queen f3. What about queen f3? It looks also very logical. Queen f3 just to protect pawn on e4 and protect pawn on f2. And I believe everything should be okay for Nikita Arikov in this position, but he's trying to calculate something. What he's calculating? Queen e2 or queen f3? He's trying to make such a decision. I believe these variants are rather equal. Queen e2 or queen f3. 7 minutes left in our match. Queen f3 is played by Nikita Arikov, the most logical decision. So, queen f3, and what is the next move for Baikal? h5 is played by him. Logical, of course. But what is your aim? What is your threat? Because right now I believe Nikita Arikov can play d3 and then, yeah, bishop e3. Bishop e3. So I believe something went wrong for Baikal in this game. He's pawn down, he has much time, but g5 was a strange move because right now Nikita just can take on g5 or play bishop e3. Nikita decided firstly to take on g5, so his next move would be bishop e3 was a plan, but Baekhan decided to play bishop g4. And what about h takes g4? Or maybe, you know, there is even such a move like queen f6. No? So, totally winning for Nikita Arikov. Totally winning. Yeah, he is making this move, queen f6. Very good play from him. Queen on f6 is trying to exchange queens. Yeah, right now, rook on h8, bishop on g4 is under attack. Rook h6. And what next for Nikita Arikov? He has a lot of extra material. He has extra knight and two extra pawns. So a lot of extra material for him. I believe that he will win this game very easily. Let's watch few moves, 2 or 3 moves of Nikita Arikov, and if nothing interesting will happen on board, we'll switch to another game. I believe it would be the last one which we will represent in this broadcast. So Nikita Arikov has to play faster because he has just 2 minutes. Of course, his position is totally winning, but what he's thinking about, bishop g5 right now, of course, it is a very good. Right now, maybe bishop e3. Nikita, let's play faster. Don't waste your time. Okay, now h takes g4, of course, is the best possible decision in this position. Yeah, very good. Rook takes g5, rook h5, rook h5, Nikita. Come on, let's do that. Yeah, rook h5. And let's watch the last move in this game. And let's switch to another one. Rook g4, rook h8. Rook h8 or rook c5. It is even simpler. So let's switch to another game, and I believe it would be even the last one. What about this one? Game between Ekaterina Chestova against Anton Kaminsky. So, pawn on d5 is rather weak, but very active bishop on a6, on e5. So, extra pieces for Anton, not extra, but strong pieces for Anton Kaminsky, but weaker pawn structure also for him. So, very interesting position. Queen takes c8, knight on d3 also is a monster. f4 is played by Ekaterina Chestova. Wow, very active play from her. And now Anton has to make something with his bishop. These players played, you remember, they played about half an hour ago, and Ekaterina won the last position. Anton blundered the knight on b5. I remember this game. So, I believe right now Ekaterina's position can become worse after knight b5, maybe just bishop b6. What about bishop b6? Rook c1, very logical for Ekaterina. She can do everything that she wants. And right now, but queen can go to e6. Queen e6, yeah, is the best possible move for Anton. I believe that Ekaterina missed this move, but a3, very good play from her. And what to do with knight on b4? It has to go somewhere, but right now Ekaterina can take on b6. Ekaterina, don't be scared. Let's just take on b6 and play with extra pawn. Yeah, Ekaterina took on b6. Very good play from young and talented Russian player. So 3 minutes left for Anton Kaminsky and less than 2 minutes left in our tournament. So it would be the last game we will comment and represent in our broadcast for today, for this match. Not for today, because there will be a last match in a few minutes after this match against Turkey. So king knight goes to e7 square, played by Anton Kaminsky. Bishop a5, 2 extra pawns for Ekaterina. She's trying to win this position. It goes without saying that I believe she can do that. She will do that. She has 2 extra pawns, and I don't see any serious threats for Anton Kaminsky except maybe knight f5 right now. Knight f5 is very serious, but Anton decided to play d4, and knight can take on d4. Knight can take on d4. Ekaterina, don't waste your time. Don't waste your... King f2. Why king f2? And what on d takes e3? Ekaterina, why king f2? D takes e3, queen takes e3, knight g4, and it's all over. Ekaterina, what a blunder. Knight d5, also blunder from Anton. So he could win this position. I don't understand why nobody is taking pawn on d4. So Ekaterina right now decided correctly to play knight d4. And now she has 3 extra pawns and totally winning position as far as I'm concerned. Maybe knight e4 is the only opportunity, or knight g4 maybe. And knight g4 is the only opportunity to make some counterplay for Anton Kaminsky. Knight g4 was played right now in this position. The time has gone in our tournament, so it's all over. And let's just watch this game till the end. Let's just watch this game till the end. 3 minutes left for Ekaterina Chistova, 2 minutes left for Anton Kaminsky. Ekaterina is thinking, and here she will move king to g1. Some knight, one of the knights will take on e3 square. So e3 square is very weak. Queen took on e3. Why, Anton? You have 2 pawns down, still 2 pawns down, and you are exchanging queens. Very strange decision from a very strong Turkish player. Very strong Turkish player. So I can also mention that Ekaterina played several interesting games. And we can remember her game against Matvey Smirnov, the game I can call the game of the day. You remember the brilliant chess tactics for Matvey Smirnov? He played rook d4, c takes d4, and bishop h6. As you remember, very brilliant chess tactics from him. h3, and now everything is okay for Ekaterina. Knight e5, and what about f takes e5? I believe that Anton maybe made a misclick, but right now everything is all over for him. Yeah, the game is ended, and so our tournament has been ended. The tournament, yeah, has come to an end. Moscow chess team won this friendly match with 344 points. Turkey managed to score 58 points, so very good play from all players in both teams. So let's name the 3 best players in all teams. The best player in Moscow chess team was Platon Korolev. He managed to score 28 points, and several players scored 24. Prizrak Satany, Petya 2019, Vladimir Filipenko, Roman Blagoveshchensky. They scored 24 points, but the best player for today was Matvey Smirnov. I also can call him the best player for today. Some brilliant chess tactics from him in game, for example, against Vladimir Filipenko. You know, also, as you can remember, Vladimir made a move knight e3, and then Matvey took on e3, rook e3, and then he takes f7, and queen appeared on bottom the next move. So the best player for today, of course, was Matvey Smirnov from Team Turkey. So our broadcast has come to an end. Our friendly match is all over, but don't go anywhere. That would be a last match for today for Moscow chess team against Czech Republic. So this match is all over. My name is Pavel Voloshin. Don't go anywhere. We will be happy to see you on our next broadcast in a few minutes. So let's have some break. This match is all over, and goodbye. See you later.